What's up, guys? It's Rob here at the Yama-Kan dojo. I know some of y'all aren't able to make it to the dojo right now. That's no problem. I just thought I'd do my part and make some online videos so you can watch them at home and follow along from there. If you're worried that you don't have equipment to practice with, that's fine. This requires no equipment at all, just a floor to stand on. But if you happen to have a heavy bag or a partner even to work with, that's even better. Alright, if you're ready, so am I. Let's get started. The most important part of any workout is your warm-up. You don't warm up right, you're not going to finish the workout. So we're going to start here. We're going to work from the ground up with what I like to call the body roll. So the body roll, you start, you're going to rotate your ankle 10 times around like this. So you're going all the way around. I don't know if you can hear my ankle popping, but it is. So we go there, then the other direction, then you do the same thing on the other foot. Rotate 10 times around, and then 10 times around there. So now your ankles are loose. When you're bouncing around, throwing your kicks, your ankles are going to take the brunt of that force, so you want to make sure they're nice and limber, ready to absorb that shock for you. Speaking of shock absorbers, we got the knees. We're going to do knee rotations. 10 this direction, and then 10 to the other direction. I'm going to shorten my reps for the purpose of this video, but you should be doing 10. From there, we're going to work our hip flexors up and around. Here, I like to think of myself like I'm a sumo wrestler, and I'm trying to maintain my balance here. I don't want to be throwing myself around like this, dropping lower and lower. I'm staying right here at the same height. From there, I'm going to work trunk twists. I'm not jerking my back around. I'm just giving my spine full range of motion right there. Good. From there, I'm going to rotate the hips all the way around. Then the other direction. Nice. Now we start working the arms. Big rotations to the back. And then to the front. And then here's a fun one, front and back. You'll see I'm putting my hips into it. I'm getting full range of motion, reaching through my fingertips up to the sky, and then back behind me. From there, we're going to crisscross, arms straight out, alternating which arm is on top. Right here, I'm focusing on my squeezing strength, getting my chest warmed up. Next up, we have chain breakers. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me. From here, I reach out in front, and I squeeze my back behind me. Right there, I'm grabbing onto a chain and pulling it like that. I like to think of myself as Superman breaking out of my chains. But that's just me because I'm a little bit of a nerd. From there, you're going to work your shoulders, rotate to the back, and then to the front. Up and down. And now last joint, rotate the neck around, and then the other direction. Nice. Alright guys, you should be nice and limber now. But before we move on to the main workout, we're going to do one more warm-up drill just to get our heart rate up. This is called the 4-point speed drill. You're going to work on your footwork, you're going to work on your explosion, and you're going to work on your speed. All you're going to need is a phone with a timer. You can use a kitchen timer, whatever you want. You just need something to measure 30 seconds. Here's how the drill is going to work. I'm going to get in my fighting stance here. Right foot behind, left foot in front. It looks like this. Right here, I'm nice and evenly distributing my weight. Weight's not too far in the front or too far in the back. I'm just right here, nice and bouncy. I'm going to work on exploding forward, exploding backwards, exploding to my right, and exploding to my left. I'm not worried about going in specific order. I'm going to go at what feels comfortable. I'm just working on boom as fast as I can for 30 seconds. So I've got my timer right here. I'm going to set it up, and then as soon as it hits go, we're going to work. So I'm right here. Boom, I explode forward, explode backward, explode to the side, explode back here. Boom, 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 right here. I'm just moving as much as I can. You'll notice, I'll go from right here. You'll notice I'm not walking myself. I'm exploding. My foot that's in the back is staying in the back. Boom, boom. I can throw some hands if I want to. Boom, boom. Just working my footwork drill here. Added a little juke right in there for you guys. That's 30 seconds. All right, so by now you should have a little bit of a sweat going, heart rate should be up. Now we're gonna slow it back down and work on our front kick. I'm gonna start super slow to explain it to you because I want you to practice this perfectly at home. I know you think it's gonna be your front leg, but that's actually a snap kick. Our front kick is the rear leg, so named because it's gonna come to the front and kick from there. So the way this works, I'm gonna bring my knee up to my stomach or my chest, depending on where I wanna kick. I'm gonna balance right here, and then I'm gonna flick my leg out, bring it back, and set it down. So it's right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm balancing on this leg right here. I don't need to come in here, check, and then throw it. I'm also not swinging it straight-legged right there. It's several movements, but you're doing them fast. So up to speed, it'll look like this. While I'm teaching, I'm keeping my hands down so you can see my face. But ideally, you're keeping your hands up here like this. Boom, right to there. You can even reach out a little bit to have a longer guard, but you want to keep your hands at eye level at all times. The way I like to think about it is if I can't see my hands, I don't know what they're doing. So keep them right here. That way you can keep your attention on them. I want you guys to do 10 kicks on the right, 10 kicks on the left. Try to do them nice and slow, maintain control, maintain balance. Even if you're not hitting something, you can put some power in it. I'm right here and I go, right there, that's a good kick. If I go lazy, yeah, I can probably do 100 of those real fast. I'm not doing any work. I want right there. So that's the fundamentals of the front kick. I want you to practice 10 on the right, 10 on the left. Do them nice and controlled, but with good power. Get that done, come back, and we're gonna move on to the side kick. Okay, so by now you should be masters of the front kick. If you're not the best front kicker in the whole world, I'm gonna be mad at you. I'm gonna take away your belt. Just kidding. But moving on, we're gonna work on my favorite kick, the side kick. So the front kick is right here. I'm facing straight on with you. Leg lifts up like that right there. It's one of the longer kicks, but we have an even longer one, the side kick. The way the side kick works, I have my left foot in front, right foot in back. I'm gonna chamber my hip all the way towards you guys here. So I'm gonna turn up like this with my knee like this. My knee's gonna shoot into my chest. I like to think that I'm kicking myself first. So it comes in here like this, shoots out, and then comes back like that there. This is not a roundhouse kick where I'm trying to flick it right there. And I'm not flicking it back from in here. I'm pushing it out. Right here, I'm storing all the potential energy, turning it into kinetic energy, and bringing it back right there. So it's coming in, out, back, and down. You'll notice I'm maintaining my arms here like earlier, but when you do this kick properly, you want to fling this arm out as a counterbalance. So it comes here, boom, right there. What am I hitting with? My foot. But seriously, I'm hitting with either my heel, right here, the blade of my foot, or the flat of my foot. It kind of depends on what you want to do. I tend to like thinking about hitting with the edge of my foot. I feel like that's probably going to drive in better. But for right now, just think about using your whole foot, and as you get better, practice from there. So you're here, drive the knee across, push it out, bring it back. Again. You notice you can work at different heights. You can work low, you can work to the body, or if you've got the flexibility, you can work to the head. Any of those work. So we're gonna come here and I want you to stick it out and then bring it back. Stick it out and then bring it back. Do 10 on the right, 10 on the left, and let's graduate onto a back kick. All right, y'all, so that was the side kick. It's the longest kick you have in Kajukenbo, so I recommend you practice it diligently, get really good at throwing it out fast without any kind of telegraphing. But now we're gonna move on to the back kick, specifically the spinning back kick. Now I know that sounds pretty scary to a lot of y'all, especially those of you who haven't spun before. It's pretty easy. Let me show you how you spin real quick. Turn, kick. That easy. The word spinning throws a lot of people off, but all it is just turning around and then throwing your kick. Don't think about doing it at the same time, especially while you're learning. Just turn your back and then throw your kick. I'm here facing my opponent. Let's call him Imaginary Bob. I'm Real Rob, Imaginary Bob. So I'm right here. I'm facing him. I'm gonna take my lead leg, put it right there across, turn and look over my right shoulder. I wanna make sure he sees me. If I don't see him, I can be throwing blind and completely miss him and be really embarrassed. So I wanna look at my opponent. From there I lift my leg up, throw it back, and then reset into my stance. So I step across, turn and look. Always turn and look first. Throw that kick right there. Boom. What you'll notice is that this can turn into a spinning side kick. If I'm facing you here and I spin not quite enough, I can just throw a side kick right there, don't worry about that. Back kick, side kick, they're pretty similar. The only difference is, am I hitting with the side of my foot or with the bottom of it? Don't worry too much about that. So that's your spinning back kick. I want you to do 10 with the right leg, and then from there, 10 with the left leg. You're gonna find that one is easier to throw than the other one. Practice nice and slow. I find that my left leg isn't as good as my right leg, so I'll aim a little bit lower. Not a big deal. Aim where you have to aim. Don't hit any walls around you, by the way. 10 on each side. I'll see you in a minute. So let's review the kicks we've done so far. We've done the front kick, side kick, and the spinning back kick. And if you think about it, we've done those on both sides, so we've actually done 6 kicks. Good job. We're gonna add another one, the roundhouse kick. So the roundhouse kick, I'm here in my fighting position. First movement, I'm gonna step 45 degrees to my left. So I'm not stepping straight forward, I'm stepping slightly to the side. From there, I'm gonna drive my knee up and turn. I'm turning my hip all the way over. From there, I fling my leg out and then bring it back. So it looks pretty choppy in slow motion. Let's see how I look doing it all in one piece. So step, knee up, boom, bring it back. With a little more speed. Again, you'll notice I throw my arm out as a counterbalance. Again, roundhouse kick. Knee travels up, I turn, throw it, bring it back from there. It's cutting across my opponent like a sword. Knee up, turn, boom. The other leg, bring it back. Again, you can work low, you can work body, or if you have the flexibility, you can work head. Whichever works, but you're gonna do 10 on both sides, yet again. See you guys in a minute. So you've now mastered 4 kicks, or you've mastered 8 kicks if you count both sides, or you've mastered 24 kicks if you count low, middle, high as different kicks. However you want to count them, you've done a bunch of them. But now we're gonna put it all together in what's called combination kicks. So the way combination kicks works, I'm gonna be here in my left forward stance. I'm gonna throw a right leg front kick and land in front. So it looks like, then from there I'm gonna throw a left leg side kick, again landing in front. From there I'm gonna turn into a right leg back kick, and then I'm gonna throw a left leg roundhouse kick. From there I'm gonna turn into a right forward stance, get situated, and I'm gonna throw a left leg front kick. Then a side kick. Then a spinning back kick. Then a roundhouse kick. So that is combination kicks. We're taking all the kicks we've worked on today and we're putting them all into one form. There and back is one time through. I want you to go through it 5 times. Take it nice and slow, really focus on the form. Don't forget about your arms, make sure they're traveling with you. Do that and we're gonna move on to some bag work. Okay, so if you have access to a heavy bag, here's how you can use it to help you in this training. So I'm right here, I'm gonna work all the kicks we've worked on so far. I'm gonna work on front kick on the other side, side kick on the other side, spinning back kick right there, roundhouse kick. You're gonna find out real quick what your weak kicks are. If you're just hitting the air, it's hard to find out where your weaknesses are. But with something that's giving you a live feedback, you're gonna be able to tell, oh, I'm not extending my leg all the way over, or oh, I'm throwing myself off balance. This is vital information that's gonna help you develop as a martial artist. So, here's what I want you to do. Get your phone, any kind of timer, set it for 2 minutes, and just play with the bag. Work as much as you can for 2 minutes. Don't be lazy here. Work on all your kicks. 2 minutes straight, rest for a minute, do another round. See you guys soon. Okay, so by now, you should be a master of the kicks that we practice, and you should be saying, please, can we not do any more kicks? Good news for you, we're gonna transfer over to our punches. We're gonna start with our jab. So if you've taken class with me, you understand what the jab is, but if you haven't, I'm gonna break it down here. Okay, so here's how this is gonna work. I'm gonna be here in my left forward stance. My knees are bent, my hands are up. I'm gonna push off my rear leg and extend my lead leg with my lead hand at the same time. So I'm gonna push out like this, out, and back. I'm not coming up here like this trying to Superman fly. This foot's staying planted. It's my lead foot, my lead hand doing the reaching. Think about the jab as the hunter. I'm finding out where my opponent is from there. So I'm right here, I push off and bring it back. And I want to tie my breathing into that movement, so I go right here. right there. I'm not drawing a bow and arrow. I'm not pulling my hand back like that. I'm not taking my hand in a weird distance where it's going elbow up and then out like that. It's going right here, chambered, exploding out and back in. Arm full extension and bring it back. I want you guys to practice this nice and slow with me. So right here, we push off the foot and bring it back in. Push off the foot, bring it back in. Now, if I want to travel with this, I'm going to be right here, step out, and then I'm going to bring my rear foot with me back to a neutral stance. So I'm right here, I step out, bring the foot in. Facing you guys, reach out with the jab, step the foot in. You'll notice I'm stomping my foot. That's on purpose. That's to remind me that I don't drag a dead foot. I don't want to be dragging it. I want to be in control of my entire body. So I step with the left, step with the right. Step with the left, step with the right. One more tip on the jab. When I throw my arm out, my palm turns down at the very end. I'm giving myself a little more power just at the very end of my punch, but that little more power is essential. Make sure you're not punching with the arm already turned like that. That's more of a push than it is a punch. So arm comes out straight and then turns at the very end. Boom. That's a quick overview of the jab. Take it nice and slow. Do 10 just in the lead hand. Don't be switching stances right now because we're going to be doing a different punch with the right hand. All right, I'll see you guys in a minute. So you've gotten the jab down. Now let's work on the cross. So named because it comes across my body. The jab reaches out in front of me. The cross is traveling from behind me to in front of me. So the cross. So I'm here in my fighting stance. I'm starting from the ground, ending at my fist. I don't want to just throw an arm punch. I want to use my feet to help me. So I'm going to pivot my foot over, turn my knee, turn my hip. Up to speed, you'll see that my belt is whipping around. That's how I know my hip is working. If I'm not doing that, I'm just throwing an arm punch. I'm going to be sacrificing a lot of power. So I'm right here turning my hip. It's going to travel from my ankle to my knee, to my hip, up through my lats, to my shoulder, to my elbow, out to my fist. So up to speed, it looks like ish, ish, ish. You'll notice I'm not reaching like that there. Why? Because if I've just thrown a jab, I'm extended like this here. I'm going to bring this rear foot in, boom, right there. So it's going to look like ish, ish. Otherwise, if I'm staying in place, it's just ish, ish, ish. And that's how I want you to practice your cross. For right now, just stay in place, work on pivoting through the foot, ish, and bring it back. Don't get lazy here and drop it down into your pocket. I want it straight out, straight back. Ish. So 10 with the rear hand. I'll see you guys when you get that done. So earlier when I was demonstrating the cross, I did both the jab and the cross, and some of y'all may have been like, oh, that looks awesome, I want to try it. I got you, we're gonna try it. So we're here in our fighting stance. I'm gonna push off the back leg, throw that jab out there like that. I'm extended beyond my balance here. I'm gonna regain that balance by bringing my right foot in, throwing that cross right there. I reset, jab, cross. Reset, jab, cross. You'll notice I'm traveling with that. If you're in a tight space and you can't move, that's fine. Just go jab, cross, jab, cross. So that's the jab, cross combination. Both punches count as one repetition. So I want you to go 1, 2, 3, up to 10. Make sense? Practice with good form. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so we just worked the jab, cross combination. Moving on, we're gonna work on the reverse punch. So the reverse punch is a traditional karate punch. It's from right here, you explode off the back foot and come back into spot like that. You might be saying, Sensei, that looks exactly like a cross. And I would agree with you and disagree with you. The cross is right here in close range. I'm staying engaged so I can throw the rest of my strike to my opponent. But in karate, they don't like throwing long combinations like that. They believe you throw one strike and get out of there. Why? Well, that's how point fighting works. This one's meant to be poppy. I come in here, boom, bam, right there. Explodey footwork, just like earlier in the 4-point drill. That's why we did that. So work on being able to explode off your feet and tying that punch in there like that. So one more time. I'm here, I explode off the back leg, throw my arm out, full lockout here, and then whip it back here like this. 10 times in this position. Ish, ish, ish. See you guys in a minute. So, that's 3 punches so far. That's the jab, the cross, and the reverse punch. All straight punches, varying level of power in them. We're gonna add one more, we're gonna add the step cross. Okay, so the step cross could also be called the walking cross. So named because you're gonna be walking your rear foot in front of you. Normally, I'll say keep your rear foot behind you and your lead foot in front of you, but sometimes you gotta break the rules to look cool. So, I'm right here, my rear foot's behind me, it's gonna step forward. Now your immediate instinct might be to throw the right hand with that punch. The problem with that is I'm not really putting my hip into that punch at this point. I'm just getting the length of my step with it. But I want my hip to be engaged. So I'm gonna step and I'm gonna throw my left hand. So I'm right here, I step, boom, right there. Step, right to there. Step, boom, bring it back. So what I'm doing with that punch is I'm getting the length of my step with the power of my hip at the same time. It's a lot like the reverse punch in that way, except that I'm not using the bouncy footwork. I'm changing it up by using a step. But if I want to, I can just retract back to my normal stance. I can just come here, boom, or I can walk through it back like that. Think of it as a reverse punch. You're just doing something different with your feet. Okay, so here's how I want you to practice that punch. You're gonna walk through on both sides. So I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna step, 1, 2. That was 1 set. I want you to do 10 like that. So it'll be 2, 2, and then back. 3, 2, and then back. All the way up to 10. See how much distance you can travel on this one. All right, y'all. So here is our punching combination that we're gonna work today. We're gonna put together the jab, the cross, and the step cross. The reverse punch is in there, but it's hidden in the step cross. So here's how this is gonna work. I'm in my fighting stance. I throw out a jab, throw a cross. I'm gonna throw a step cross, and then throw a step cross again, this time down low to the body. Up to speed, it'll look like jab, cross, step cross, step cross. Just like earlier, if you have access to a heavy bag, here's how you use it for your boxing training. I'm gonna work jab, cross, step cross, all my punches on this bag. More important than anything, the heavy bag is gonna teach you your distancing. If you're too close, it's gonna jam your elbow up like that. If you're too far away, you're gonna miss it and have to lean. So there's that golden zone where your strikes will land exactly where you need them to land. So right now, I just want you to play with the combinations. Play with jab, cross, step cross, step cross. What you'll notice is I'm moving side to side in a 3D world. I have all this space. I want to move around the bag like a real person would. Don't just stay right here playing patty cake with it. Move. Put some aggression into it. 2-minute rounds. Have fun. You guys are doing great. We're nearing the end. Now we're going to put together our punching and our kicking. So I'm gonna work here now. I'm gonna throw jab, cross, front kick, bring it back. Jab, cross, front kick, bring it back. Up to speed, it'll look like ish, 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 ish. I'm gonna do 10 just like that. And if you guys feel comfortable, switch your stance into a right lead. Jab, cross, ish. Jab, cross, ish. 10 on both sides, why not? Have fun with it. Once you get done with the jab, cross, front kick, we're gonna move on to the jab, cross, side kick. So here's what the combination is gonna look like. Jab, cross, side kick. I'm bringing my rear leg all the way across. Jab, cross, side kick. Practice that nice and slow. You're gonna feel your hips really twist on this one. So far we've worked the jab, cross, front kick and the jab, cross, side kick. Now we're gonna work double jab, roundhouse kick. So I'm here in my stance, I'm gonna go jab, jab, pivot my foot, roundhouse kick. Again, jab, jab, roundhouse kick. I'm throwing 2 on the left. Bop, bop, bing, right there. 2 on the left, 1 with the right. Practice that 10 times. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, guys, last combination we're gonna work. We're gonna work roundhouse kick, jab, cross, back kick. Sounds scary, but let's play with it. So I'm right here in my left forward stance. I'm gonna throw a right roundhouse kick, boom, bring it back, jab, cross, turn, back kick. Again, it's roundhouse kick, bring it back, jab, cross, turn, back kick. Up to speed, it'll look like ish, 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 ish. So for the last bag circuit, you're gonna work your punches and your kicks together. Earlier today, we were doing just kicks or just punches. Now we're gonna work them both. Feel free to use the combinations we did earlier or do single strikes. You're gonna do 3-minute rounds 3 times through. So I'm here and I'm gonna work jab, cross, roundhouse kick, front kick, side kick. Maybe I wanna work jab, cross, roundhouse kick. Feel free to do the combinations that we were working on earlier today or do single strikes. Those are your only options. The combinations we worked on were single strikes. 3 times through, I'll see you in 9 minutes. Have fun. All right, guys, we're almost done. Last thing we have to do is some static stretching just to work on the flexibility. Okay, so our first stretch, I'm gonna spread my legs out as far as they'll go. Don't go until you fall over and can't get up. Just feel a good stretch right here and hold that. Hold it for minimum of 20 seconds, maximum of the whole day. So you wanna hold this nice and tight, try and sink lower as you breathe into it. Nice and comfortable. It's not really comfortable. From there, we're gonna bring one foot in, sit down, hold it right here. Again, you wanna hold this minimum of 20 seconds, maximum of, let's say, a minute. Right there, hold it nice and strong. And then without bouncing back up, we're gonna shift to the other side, straightening the other leg out. Same thing, we're holding this nice and strong. I want you to work these 3 movements. So you're gonna start, let's say here for 30 seconds, here for 30 seconds, and then here for 30 seconds. Alternate that 5 times through, you'll see some flexibility gains. Last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna work our flexibility in the shoulders. I have my hands out here like this. I'm gonna turn this palm all the way down, turn to look at my other thumb, rotate that one there, and then bring it back. I'm getting full rotation in my shoulder blades, working on opening them up, undoing the internal rotation that I got during this training. If you hear any popping in your shoulders or your back, you're welcome. A few more. Okay, you guys, that was our first online class. I hope you had as much fun watching and training alongside me as I did doing it. Personally, I feel like you can get a lot of enrichment out of solo training. All you need is some imagination and a good teacher. If you feel like you made a mistake somewhere or you need to practice something else, guess what? You can just rewind the video to that moment, practice it over and over and over again. Remember, martial arts mastery takes 10,000 hours for any one technique. So practice the fundamentals. Practice, 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 and I'll see you guys next time. Oos.